Good morning. It is December 17th. It is 5:40 in the morning. It is a Friday. It's a little bit later than I expected, but if you see me in person, ask me why. Anyway, today's a Friday, which means today is another episode of Fable Fridays, where I try to find a story about an animal, preferably, and see what kind of lessons I got out of that during this past week. So this dog, my mile just finished. So this dog, one day, he's working really hard. He's digging and digging and digging. He knows that his master, on one of their walks, had dropped a big bone into the ground. And he remembers exactly where this bone is. So he digs and he digs and he digs, and at last, he finds it. He finds his big bone. He puts it in his mouth and he's walking back home. And he walks across this river. As he's walking across the river, he sees in his reflection what seems to be another dog. But this dog looks bigger and the bone is bigger. And so he looks at it and he thinks, I want that bone too. So he opens his mouth and he barks at that other bigger, better dog with the bigger bone. In a sense, he loses his own bone and drops into the river, and he walks home with no bone at all. That's basically the fable today. And I guess the moral of the story is be happy with what we got. Be happy with taking time and looking at what I have around me. And I'll tell you a couple other stories this week. Yesterday I was trying to get some sleep before my classes started, just to take a quick nap. And this kind of exact situation came up. I was just about to shut my eyes at noon time. Just for about 15 minutes or so, I set the alarm, about to shut my eyes. And then I scrolled through my YouTube feed one last time. And I look at it, and who else has to post something? It is Mark Rober. Mark Rober. If you don't know who Mark Rober is, you should YouTube him. He has the best videos. He does. He really does. He doesn't post very often. I think he posts maybe 4 times a year. Anyway, not important. But he doesn't post very often. But his quality of his content is really, really good. How this applies to my story is, I'm about to go to sleep, but I see that he has just posted 18 hours ago this new video. So I start watching it. And not only is it a new video, maybe it's the one about squirrels. Nope, this one is about the glitter bomb. And if you haven't seen this one, they're trying to catch porch pirates. And so he manufactures these expensive looking items, but inside there's actually cameras and there's glitter that you can't get out if it gets spread out. It's the finest glitter in the world, and it shoots it out, gets everywhere, and it shoots a fart spray. And it's basically to teach the porch pirates a lesson. Don't steal people's stuff from their porches. So that's one of his his missions, I guess, is to make a dent in society by counteracting these porch pirates with these devices that cost probably way more than the actual package costs. But he's got a lot of money. Anyway, I digress. So in this video, there's this man. He picks up one of the packages and he's carrying it. And instead of opening it like everybody else does, he takes it to this pawn shop. And so he's at the pawn shop and the owner's like, I'll give you $400 for it. And he's like, no, it's gotta be $5, it's gotta be $5. Little do they know what's really inside of it. But it looks like it's like an Apple home pod, home theme, home base. You know, it's really expensive. It's a really expensive device if it was real. Anyway, but this Apple home thing. And so the homeless guys, I don't know if he's homeless, but sorry, the porch pirates telling the pawn shop that I need $500 for this thing. This is brand new. This is this year, 2021. That guy doesn't know. 2021, brand new. And the guy's like, I give you $400 for it. $400. Nah, man, it's gotta be $500. He said, all right, $500, but let me open it first. He's like, okay. And then the scene unfolds. They open it up and it shoots glitter everywhere. The fart spray goes off, and that guy walks home with nothing. he had basically $400 in his hand, but the greed for that $100 more costed him everything, and he left the shop with nothing in his hands because he got greedy. He looked into the reflection and he's like, I think I can get this much. He's playing a risk game, but he didn't know. But that's the risk he took. And he looked into the river and he dropped his bone. He's like, okay, I'll do it for 500. I'll let you look at it first. Okay. There's another thing in the book of Dale Carnegie's How to Stop Worrying and Start Living, and he talks about John D. Rockefeller, the father of the Rockefeller Station in 30 Rockefeller, that building in New York, Times Square, not too sure actually. But anyway, he relates a story about John D. Rockefeller. And John D. Rockefeller was a millionaire by the time he was 30 years old in like the early 1900s, which is unheard of, which basically means why he's so rich and his family is so rich today, because they're old school rich, right? So John D. Rockefeller one time, as he was building his empire, he was sending some grain, I think it was. He was sending some grain towards the Great Lakes. But then on the news, he had heard that there was going to be a storm. And so one of his accountants calls him up and says, hey, John, we need some insurance. Let's see if we can get insurance right now. Let's book it, $150 for insurance to protect this $40,000 cargo. $150 insurance. And he mulled it over. So, okay, let's do it. $150. The thing about John D. Rockefeller, what made him probably really, really rich is he's super stingy, and he worries about money, even down to the last cent. Even though he's got millions of dollars, he worries, and he like really holds on to every money that he has. So anyway, the guy calls him on the phone. Let's get insurance. Okay, pick it up. $150. I don't like paying for insurance. I hate paying for insurance actually. That's just basically a waste of money. Yeah, but there's a big storm here. Let's go get that insurance. Okay, get the insurance, $150. All right. So they book the insurance. When the guy he was talking to gets to the office, he sees John D. Rockefeller in more of a worried state and just torn to pieces. So he says, hey, what's wrong? John D. Rockefeller found out that the cargo that they had put insurance on arrived safely to the Great Lakes, to the destination that it was intended. Essentially, what a waste. He wasted $150 and he is torn into pieces. At one part, he was worried about this $40,000 cargo, but then the next morning when he finds out that the cargo got there safely, he was absolutely just torn to pieces, sad, whatever you want to call it, because he felt that he wasted that $150 on buying insurance. And this is a person who that year was going to make $500,000. But that $150, like, it ruined his day, ruined his week. It ruined him so much that this story is still being told about him, you know? Like, think about that. It's 100 years later, and this story is still being told about him. So it kind of shows you, like, what kind of person John D. Rockefeller was. And so, yeah, it just kind of gets back to the same point about the dog looking through the reflection. Like, it's easy to see if you got millions and millions of dollars that it's a drop in the bucket. $150 is a drop in the bucket. But for those who are always constantly who are always craving more, and that's where, you know, the thought comes in, like it's a snare and it's a trap to get caught up into that. So realizing what we've got, what we're thinking about, and what we've been able to hold on to, what we've been able to achieve is great. And doesn't mean that we're not, you know, I'm not going to try to be better or achieve more, but it's the desire and the craving to want more always. You know, it's one thing to have money, it's one thing to have you know, lots of nice things, but it's that desire that really you know, is the killer. You know, it's like you're stranded on a beautiful yacht in the, I don't know, in the middle of the ocean. You're stranded, you know, your engines are dead, but you're living on a yacht. It's not gonna go anywhere. You've got food for the next few years if you want to. It's a giant, massive yacht, but you feel like, oh no, I'm stranded. I'm gonna be here forever, and like there's nothing to drink, and so you go out and you drink salt water. And little do you know that by you drinking salt water, like you're killing yourself. You know, the more you drink, the more thirsty you become, and that's kind of like the power of riches, I guess. And one last thought in the book that Will Smith just wrote, called Will. He said the thing about having riches and power and money is that when you don't have them, you feel that, oh, whatever, man, if I did have them, I would be happy. But the thing about it is, once you have those things and you still feel unhappy, he says, then you start to think, maybe the problem really is me. And I think addressing for myself, like, that core issue is paramount. And yeah, I gotta keep working on it. So anyway, that was our Fable Friday. 11 minutes. Man, my videos are getting longer. I've got a lot to say. Anyway, if you're here still listening, thank you a lot for listening and tuning in to Fable Fridays with Miss Jessie. Keep it up. I'll be back here tomorrow. Yesterday I did play basketball for about an hour and a half. I feel good. My knees are a little bit achy, but that comes with age, I guess. And today is Friday, so we got a couple more classes to do, and then the weekend will be here. And then that means we work even more on the weekends, working on ourselves, working on our bodies, working on our minds, and helping to take care of our families. Love you guys. Keep it up. Self-discipline is the name of the game. Pick something that you can do today and keep doing it today until tomorrow and until tomorrow. Keep it up. Love you guys. Aloha. Take care. And we'll see you guys tomorrow.